Welcome for week 6 NFL picks. Got some great ones for you today. A couple of interconference matchups. We got the Rams and the Ravens. Looking forward to that one. The Bengals and the Packers. Then the Sunday night game, the Lions and the Chiefs. So let's get to the games.
Eagles at the Giants. It's clear to say that the Eagles had a letdown after the third quarter, building that great lead against the Broncos. Nobody would have expected the Broncos to surge back like they did, so we don't think it's time to panic about the Eagles. They just simply let down after building a 17-3 lead. Broncos impressive comeback, what they did, going for two, putting the pressure on the Eagles like they did, and ultimately to win it. Really great game. Really should give credit to the Broncos, not pick on the Eagles for a bad game. Just really a bad quarter. So we like them bouncing back here. We think the Giants, having lost Malik, we think that Dart's going to be a work in progress. We think they're just a far better team. Take the Eagles here 27-17 on Thursday Night Football. Broncos versus the Jets and another one European special. Look at the Broncos here. Again, we just said how impressed we were with that comeback victory over the Eagles. Very improbable, but took some guts on the part of Sean Payton going for two in that situation and then putting the pressure on the Eagles, as we already said. The Jets going in a different direction. We're not sure what to make of Justin Fields and that defense and that offense rather. We thought they'd be a lot better. Still have the defensive skill, but offensively very inconsistent. Still have the running capability of Brees Hall and others. But we think the Broncos are a team to look out for in the AFC West. We think they are right there with the Chiefs. The Chargers might be slipping a little bit after the recent injuries. Offensive line looks to be a mess. We like the Bronx here 24-17 over the Jets. Rams at the Ravens. And just a footnote here, we're going to make this prediction on the assumption that we're recording this Monday morning of week 6. We're going to make the assumption that Lamar is not playing. With the Ravens having a bye week the following week, it would make more sense to give him 2 more weeks of rest. On the other hand, can the Ravens afford to go 1-5 if they lose this game? This would have been a great interconference matchup between Rams and Ravens here. We hope personally that Lamar plays just to improve the quality of competition. But assuming that he does not, I think that Ram offense with a wounded Ravens defense, all those injuries. The Texans look great against them, but that was due to the Ravens' injuries, truthfully. The Texans haven't looked that great all year. So we think the Rams could do the same. They might win 28-21, maybe a little bit more. Take the Rams in this one. Cowboys at the Panthers. Look at these two teams, both coming off victories. But we want to look at the quality of the victory. For one thing, the victories. So the Cowboys win on the road at the Jets. Even though the Jets are a struggling team, winning on the road convincingly is very difficult to do. Whereas the Panthers, we love what they did coming back and beating the Dolphins, but the Dolphins are also a struggling team, and we don't know that a team should have had to struggle that much at home. So when we look at that, I think the Cowboys might be clicking a little bit. See that Dak Prescott, George Pickens connection, very impressive. Have offensive firepower. We think the Panthers do play well at home. We're going to note that. I think this game will be closer than a lot of people think. We like the Cowboys, though, to win it 28-24 on the road in Charlotte over Bryce Young and the Panthers. Bears at the Commanders, rematch of last year's infamous Hail Mary game. What a great finish, unless you're a Bears fan, of course. Really sent the Bears season going a different direction. Tough to recover from such an emotional, really a bad luck loss. And the Commanders took that, had a couple of other lucky wins, but really an impressive season. Several analysts that we talked to thought that the Commanders might be due to regress after some lucky wins, some questionable breaks. We didn't think that. We think they're continuing to be a playoff contender. We love what they did this past week against the Chargers on the road at LA. That's a tough place to play. The Chargers are dealing with some injuries, but that's a powerful Justin Herbert, Jim Harbaugh led team. We do think the Commanders are the better team. We like the Bears this year. We love what Ben Johnson has done, but playing in Washington, Commanders, Jaden Daniels is back. We like him here 28-24. And with the Bills' loss on Sunday night, there are no more undefeated teams left in the NFL, which means the 1972 Dolphins record, 53 straight years having the undefeated record that has not been matched, will stand for another year. My uncle was on that team, point of pride. We think that's great. Another year to pop the champagne for the 1972 Dolphins. We don't think that record will ever be matched, actually. Then let's look at the Buccaneers. This is one of our misses from Week 5. We had the Seahawks winning that. Seahawks played a great game, but man, how impressive have the Bucs been. Baker Mayfield just looks like a man possessed. Total dog out there playing. Very, very impressed. We think this is a legitimate contender in the NFC. Not just a wild card, not just a division round. We think they could go to the championship game or maybe even all the way. That Todd Bowles defense, and then if they get Mike Evans back, you got Evans, Godwin, and Ibuka, a three-headed beast. We like him here 31-24 over the 49ers. The 49ers, we thought they played a great game against the Rams. A little bit of luck with that fumble right at the goal line. We like the Buccaneers in this one. And before we continue, if you would, just join our channel. And if you like this video or find it useful, like it and then subscribe. We provide weekly NFL picks, highlights, and sports travel. Thank you. And the Seahawks have to travel all the way from Seattle to Florida, but they typically play well on the road to face the Jaguars, and we are recording this Monday morning. Not sure how the Jags do in their Monday night matchup against the Chiefs, but we've been more impressed with the Seahawks than we have the Jags. I think the Seahawks have a stout defense. Jaguars do as well. They've been very opportunistic. I think the Seahawks shot themselves in the proverbial foot against the Bucs with that late interception. Should have won the game. Had a key fumble earlier. We think if they protect the ball a little bit better, we like them even here on the road at Duval, 27-20 over the Jags. Chargers at the Dolphins, two teams facing really tough injuries. Chargers, the entire offensive line is really struggling. Alt was a key injury. And then, of course, the Dolphins, it was the Tua Tyreek connection. Well, now Tyreek is out for a long, long time. The question is, will he ever return and play for the Dolphins again? Not sure. You still had Jalen Waddle. We thought that Tua connection was great early on against the Panthers. The Panthers ultimately came back and won, but the offense played well. We think, however, here we like the more variety of weapons that the Chargers have, even on the road. Playing South Florida, not too tough for an LA team. We like them 24-21 Chargers over the Fins in South Florida. Cardinals at the Colts. We were hesitant early on with the Colts. We are Texans fans here. We weren't sure if the rival Colts in the AFC South were that great. But what we've seen, even in defeat, if you go back and watch that Rams game, that was an unlucky loss. They had that one, that fumble at the goal line. The receiver tried to shuffle the ball, and on the other hand, flipped that one of those flukish plays. And then they also had a lucky win in the game against the Broncos. Shouldn't have had a do-over with that field goal. So that balanced out. But they're a dominant team. We see them in the playoffs this year. We're finally believers here in week 6, and we think they'll take care of the Cardinals here 28-14. Another team that had an unlucky loss against the Titans. And then in the new believer category, we have to put the Patriots right there. Very impressive what they did on Sunday night against the Bills. There were some turnovers there, but all games have turnovers. Drake May really played like he's got all pro potential. Not quite yet, but might take a couple years to get there. But really impressive what we saw. Saints, that was one of our missed picks. We know the Saints played great the Caesar Superdome. We missed that one. I don't know why we picked the Giants. Really done. We've been to 9 games there at the Superdome. We know how well they play. But we like the Pats here, 24-21 over the Saints. Titans at the Raiders. Can the Titans follow up on that surprising lucky victory at Arizona over the Cardinals? The Raiders looking completely lost in their defeat at Indy. We were very disappointed. That was one of the teams we had identified as a surprise team going in. We had the Colts, Jags, and the Raiders amongst us. Seahawks that they've played exactly how we expected, but the Raiders haven't quite done it. The Geno and the Pete Carroll marriage isn't quite working here. Geno continues to turn the ball over, but we think here if they can give Gentry the ball, and that defense has been playing impressively well, they were just outmatched against the Colts. We think in our analysis the Titans will have a little bit of a letdown here after their first victory. I think the Raiders bounce back at home 27-17 over the Titans. Bengals at the Packers. We don't think Joe Burrow's coming back anytime soon, and we think with Browning has continued to struggle, not playing like the 2023 version of Jake Browning. This version, I guess the film is out and the coaches have adapted. Not sure what triggered the change between how he performed back then and what he's doing now. And the Packers, again, looking great at home in the first division. We thought that was the best team in the NFL. We don't think that now after the 2 recent games, the tie at Dallas and then a loss earlier than that. We think they bounce back here over a depleted Bengals team and win it 31-17. And the Bills and Falcons. I think the Falcons play really well in Mercedes-Benz. Been a few games in that area. The Bills really struggled at home against the Patriots, but it was a turnover thing, really. It wasn't bad performance as far as yardage, and we don't think they were overmatched by the Patriots. It's just one of those cases, if you analyze games like we do so often, division rivals play each other far closer than do non-division rivals. The Bills, Patriots, of course, AFC East division rivals. Patriots played up, played well, opportunistic. We don't take that away from the Bills. It was just one more team losing against a division rival. We think the Bills bounce back in a serious way against the Falcon team. Very inconsistent. Michael Penix hasn't shown that he can be a consistently good passer, and we think the Bills just have more weapons. We like them here, 28-20 over the Falcons in the ATL. And the marquee matchup, the heavyweight bout, whatever you want to call it. This is going to be a great game, should be anyway. Lions at the Chiefs, the Sunday night special. We look at these two teams. The Chiefs are finally coming into form. Again, disclaimer, we're recording this Monday morning before they play the Jags. Not sure if there's any injuries, etc. But we have really been impressed with what the Lions did after that, I'm not going to say embarrassing, but questionable loss at Green Bay. Really caught Green Bay when they were hot. Just made the big trade for Micah. Not sure what was going on there. Maybe it's an emotional thing. But we think this game's going to be really close. close. We like the Lions here, though, even on the road. We truly believe, we hate to jinx them like this, but we think they're playing like the best team in the NFL. We like them in a close one over the Chiefs, 31-28. We think Jared Goff, those receivers, the dual threat running back, and the defensive improvements since they've had Aiden Hutchinson back. We think that is key to slowing down Mahomes. We like him here, 31-28 over the Chiefs.
That's all for this time. Thank you for joining. Please subscribe to our channel, and we look forward to sharing our future videos with you.